gonna make granola. At our house, we eat a lot of granola. My husband eats it almost every morning for breakfast. So first we're gonna start out with 4 cups of oats. You can use rolled oats, quick oats, whatever you want. These are rolled oats. And then I have a 1.5 cups of nuts. I used a 1/2 cup of walnuts, I used some crushed pecans, and I used some sliced almonds. You can use whatever you like, whatever your family likes or doesn't like, you can put in or don't put in. But use about a 1.5 cups of nuts and you mix it up by hand. Then you're going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I like to use a Himalayan salt, and you don't use quite as much when you do that, but you use just a little bit of salt. You're going to use a tablespoon of cinnamon. Now, if you want to try something a little different, you can use a pumpkin spice mix if you like. We're not real crazy about pumpkin spice, but some people are. So I use cinnamon. You can add nutmeg if you like nutmeg. But this is going to be just a pretty basic, simple recipe. Next thing you're going to want to do is add some vanilla. My recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of vanilla, but I really like vanilla, so I usually add a little bit more. You can add as much as you want. I wouldn't go over a 1/4 cup, but you can certainly add more vanilla if you like a lot of vanilla flavor. Now the tricky part is going to be the honey. Now the honey makes it really good, but also it makes it really messy. So we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey, or I'm sorry, a 1/3 of a cup of honey. Put it in like that, and try not to make too big of a mess. It gets pretty sticky, as you'll soon see. And then our last ingredient, you're going to use a 1/4 cup of oil. Put it in. And now the fun part. Now you can start with a spoon, but it doesn't seem to do quite as well. So what you want to do is get your hands in there and really mix it well. You want that honey to coat as much of the grain and nuts as possible. So mix it up like so. Like I said, I hardly ever use a spoon. I found that I tend to mix it a lot better by hand. And I tend to be a messy cook to begin with, so it's a little fun. Get out your frustrations if you have any. Get it all mixed up nice. As you can see, it's starting to get kind of wet looking. And that's what you want. You want it as coated as you can get it. And if it's not all perfectly coated, that's fine, but you want it as coated as you can get. Then, get it off your hands as much as you can. And of course, it's very important to wash your hands before you start, which I did. And then we're going to take an old cookie sheet.
Not a young cookie sheet?
Not a young cookie sheet. We're taking an old one. As you can see, it's well used, well blackened over the years. And you spread it out to where it's about a 1/4 inch thick. And I have my oven preheated at 350. And so you got it about like so. This is a flat cookie sheet, so I don't get it too close to the edges because I don't want it to burn it, fall off in my oven and burn it. And now we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to stick it in the oven. Set your timer for 20 minutes and just wait. Alright, the buzzer's about to go off, so I've got a glass jar. I'm going to let the granola cool, and then I'll put it in a glass jar to store it. I use old 1-gallon pickle jars. Wash them out real good so they don't smell like pickles. They're pretty good. Alright, 4 seconds left, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my buzzer and the oven. Perfect. It's golden brown, that's just the way you want it. It'll go ahead and toast those nuts, and it'll taste great. In fact, I would eat some, but it's still hot, so we'll let it cool off a little bit. So that's That's how you make homemade granola. Like I said, you can store it in a glass jar. That's what I prefer to do, but you can also store it in a Ziploc baggie or any kind of airtight plastic container. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe.